Here's a very short and delightful story in the Old Testament. Takes up 2 whole pages in my Bible. It's a parable, a satire, written with a sense of humor, but it has some depth in spiritual and theological meaning. It's the book of Jonah. Actually, we've been listening to almost the whole book of Jonah from Monday through today in our first reading of our daily masses. God called Jonah to be a prophet to the Ninevites, to challenge them to repent. Now, Jonah had other plans with his life because the Ninevites were enemies of his people. And so rather than heading eastward to fulfill what God asked him to do, he headed westward to get away from God. And he boarded a ship and headed for the sea, going further westward, hoping God would change his mind. Well, a great storm came up, and the sailors asked, well, who's not right with God? And Jonah had to admit, well, it's me. And so we know the story, how he was swallowed up by the great fish, and he had to spend 3 days in the belly of a fish, and then he was spewed up on the shore, and he changed his mind and started heading east to Nineveh. But he was not happy. He went through the city of Nineveh, challenging them to repent, and all from the king on down, greatest to the least, put on sackcloth and ashes and began to repent, and Jonah was furious. He was successful in his preaching, but it made him angry that the citizens of Nineveh repented. So he went out to the desert to pout, and a plant grew up in the heat of the summer, provided him some shade and comfort. Then after a while, the plant began to wither and die. Once again, Jonah became very angry. God approached him and said, "Are you angry at the plant?" And he said, "I have to contend with 120,000 Ninevites who don't know their right hand from their left. Should I not be concerned about them?" Our Road to Rome raffle is live. We Capuchins invite you to take your chance of winning a trip to Italy, a dream vacation, a cruise, and more. So we invite you to enter by going to roadtoromeRaffle.com.